But the growth hormone's just for the cows.
Yeah, see, right?
On his farm.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's not for him.
He's got a lot of nice things. He had chefs cook for him the entire time I was there. I ate some testicles with him. I ate some bone marrow with him. I've always been eating testicles. And then he just told me flat out. He said, I take home about $30 million a year. Okay, I'll put it in perspective for you guys. He talked more than Chris Bell.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. It's on him to explain, what he thinks is right. He said, I don't touch that stuff. And I said, what stuff? And he said, steroids. I said, you've never taken steroids, and we went through the whole thing.
Is there any harm if he was keeping that information to himself while still selling supplements?
You see Greg Doucette, you see even Chris Bumstem has talked about like what he's doing these days. It's expected that people will be open about what they take, right? Along with whatever else they market. And people look at that as being more honest.
Joe Rogan's tone on there, shutting it down and just saying like, that guy doesn't do any of that. He's got an ass full of steroids. That's a really interesting comment.
I don't know. I thought it was cool that before he ever got on social media, he already had ancestral supplements going.
You feeling those shrooms yet, by the way?
I am.
how's it feel? All right, we got to talk about this real quick. This is Andrew's first time on 500 milligrams of psilocybin. How do you feel, baby?
I feel like I'm underwater, but I've seen this picture come up a lot when they're saying like, oh, look at him before. Like, obviously he's way smaller. But when we were looking at it, we're like, well, you can't really tell.
What percentage body fat you gonna guess?
I'd say he's like 6 or 7. At least looking at the upper body. If someone's out here and they're big and they're jacked and they're like, this got me this big. Like, no, you're bullshitting. You're bullshitting. Like, talk about the stuff that you do, the way you work out, the habits you have on a day-to-day basis. That's going to be the thing. And he's not saying that.
If Liver King was of a different ethnicity.
Look, when he was black, no one would say nothing.
Wowzer.
Ooh.
All right, well, I think we exhausted this Liver King stuff. He's obviously on tons of juice.
Absolutely.
I saw the Trent house that he had. Interesting, he had so many people in that factory, just mixing the Tren in there. And there's people like pouring the powder in and stuff, and people laughing like a maniacal, evil Tren laugh,
Hey guys, I want to talk to you about Merrick Health, owned by Derek from More Plates, More Dates. Now, some of you guys are on a fat loss journey, some of you guys are trying to gain muscle, and some of you guys are just trying to optimize yourself and your hormones. That's why Merrick Health is so great, because you can get your blood work done. A lot of us don't know what's going on under the hood as far as our cholesterol, our testosterone, our hormones are concerned, and you need to get that checked multiple times a year. That's why we've partnered with Merrick, and we have something called the Power Project Panel, which has 28 different labs. And if you do get the Power Project Panel, they'll actually be able to partner you up with a patient care coordinator that will go through your labs with you and advise you on what you should do. So, Andrew, how can they get it?
Yeah, you guys got to head over to merrickhealth.com/powerproject. That's MAREK health.com/powerproject. You guys will see the Power Project panel. And when you guys check out, use promo code PowerProject to save $101 off the entire panel. Links to them down in the description as well as the podcast show notes. No, it doesn't matter. Like, we can start whatever. I just hit record just because you thought we were going. So I'm like, oh, fuck, let me just hit record.
But before we continue, there are certain things you're not allowed to say about his life. Like
I cannot say that I injected him with steroids. Like we're going to leave that private. We're going to leave that out. Okay. And the refrigerator with the growth hormone. Andrew's the one who pointed out the refrigerator. He's like, bro, like check those mini fridges. Yeah. And wow, they were all over the place.
But the growth hormone's just for the cows.
Yeah. See, right.
On his farm.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's not for him.
No, he had a lot of bottles of stuff lying around that had animals on it. Yeah. And he's like, it's for them, bro. Mm-hmm. Like this is to get the cattle bigger.
Yeah, bad.
Yeah, big cows. No, I'm kidding. I didn't see anything like that at the Liver King Ranch. However, I did experience going to 2 different ranches, and they were both really nice. They were really big. He has a boat that's just chilling, sitting in the water.
What is that ATV shit? Well, keep going about the boat, but
in the back of his house, he has a beautiful home. There's a beautiful lake behind it. He's got a lot of nice things. He had chefs cook for him the entire time I was there. That was a question I didn't get to ask him. Like, does he ever cook any of his own food? I don't know. I saw him live the lifestyle. I ate some testicles with him. I ate some bone marrow with him.
That's not new.
I ate some liver. I've always been eating testicles. We had a good time, and my brother was with me as well. And the second ranch that we went to, was on 500 acres. There was cows on there. I don't think he tries to profit from the farm at all. Like, so he just has cows there that are mainly for him and his crew, which means he has a lot of fucking money, you know? And, you know, I've been around a while, so I'm starting to kind of add it up. I'm like, oh, okay, I thought he was kind of like in this range. And I'm like, oh, okay, no. He's more in like this range.
What's that range?
And then he just told me flat out. He said, I take home about $30 million a year. Ooh. I was like, wow. That's fucking awesome, dude.
That's amazing.
Like, so first of all, I just want to point out, like, I think that's cool. And I think, like, for me personally, my goal, I say it all the time, and maybe people think it's lame, but my goal is to make the world a better place to lift. So I like to gather people together, and I like to highlight people. I did it when I was a power lifter by highlighting athletes like Dan Green and Stan Efferding. And we still do it today on this podcast by highlighting people like Sean Baker, Paul Saladino, Liver King, and so the list goes on of the people that we have had on the show. Anyway, the Liver King, people are confused about like where he made his money, how he did this, how he did that. He owns a supplement company called Ancestral Supplements. He's had it for several years now. I think he started it in like 2012.
And that was before his big rise.
Yeah, and so his Instagram, his social media stuff started. I think Paul Saladino and some other people were like, dude, how come you don't have, well, I don't understand. Like, you're a savage. You look great. You're jacked. You do all these things and you don't ever share it with anybody. Like, what, like, why aren't you showing people this? And so like 8 months ago, he started an Instagram and it blew up. Now this is all just from him. I don't know. You know, this is all him and I having a conversation. I don't really know if someone's like, you know, giving me the full story, telling me the truth 100% or not. I don't know what's what. Him and his wife mentioned that they had a dental practice where they made some money doing some of that for years. He owned not only the dental practice, but also owned the property. So I think there was a transaction there where he sold that and made some money, started the supplement company, and then he's been crushing it ever since. But when he and I talked a little bit about business, he was fucking incredible. I mean, he was on par with anybody that we had here. Christian Guzman, who's also a fake natty, Todd Abrams, you know, those guys, they start talking and I'm always like, fuck, man, I don't know. I invented something. I don't know all the details the way these guys do. So he definitely has that background. He definitely has that spirit of somebody that has a lot of energy. Okay, I'll put it in perspective for you guys. He talked more than Chris Bell.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
Whoa.
I know. Imagine those guys having conversations together.
That's more impressive than his physique.
I know.
Holy shit.
It was hard for me to get a word in edgewise.
Is that why you were like, hey, Chris, go run the camera. I'm going to go talk to him. Okay,
yeah, you're going to have to be over there, be occupied. But yeah, man, there was a lot of words flying around. But yeah, that was some of my interaction with him. I actually felt his abs because people were like, his abs are fake. And that was weird, but...
And then what about the body hair?
Yeah, he just doesn't happen to have body hair except for a lot of facial hair. It doesn't look like he shaves unless he like strategically like plucks certain hairs or something like that, because he did have hair, like normally grown hair on his body. He just didn't have a lot of it. And then, you know, there's obviously the thing about the steroid stuff. And I've been around for a long time. I've seen many different people come and go. I have my own opinions about it, but I'm just going to keep it to myself. I'm not going to talk about them publicly because I just don't think it matters a ton. And I think it's on him to explain, you know, what he thinks is right or wrong in terms of whether he does them or doesn't do them. He says that he doesn't do them. I asked him flat out. He said, I don't touch that stuff. And I said, what stuff? And he said, steroids. I said, you've never taken steroids, you know, and we went through the whole thing. And he claims no. So like my point on the actual podcast, I say, there's nothing that we could do right now to prove that you don't take them or to prove that you do take them. There's not really like a test that we can do. Like we could have WADA come in and they could do a urine and blood test, and we can do all these things. And Nsima's taken drug tests before, but
doesn't change the fact I'm a fake natty.
Yeah, the internet's going to be like, well, that federation, they also had, you know, John so-and-so, and he fucking failed the drug test later on, or
We just cycle off. That's all we do. It's that simple.
It's never going to be good enough for anybody, and they would just say that he paid for it or something like that, right?
Which he did.
Which he probably did.
Definitely did.
He has the money to and the incentive. So,
See?
yeah,
there you go.
There's no way to.
Because you're saying, whether or not it matters or whatever. The one of the biggest criticisms is people think that like, oh, he's lying to us. Is there any harm if he was keeping that information to himself while still selling supplements?
Yes, supplements in general, like, do they do anything? Is there a little Santa Claus behind just about every supplement, right? Like it's a belief, BCAAs and amino acids and these different things. I don't know, what they do exactly. Maybe they propel your performance a little bit. Maybe people feel like they do. They certainly don't really seem to quote unquote move the needle in any sort of real drastic way. So I don't know.
Supplements do. Yeah. That's the thing. Only certain supplements.
Get on the mic.
Just like the basics of like creatine monohydrate, electrolytes. What else? Beta alanine makes a difference. Caffeine makes a difference, right? But for
creatine
years,
also doesn't make like a large difference to where you're like.
Did
you see Jason the other day when he came in? Like, fuck, man, he's on some creatine.
That's one reason why people forget to take creatine, though, because you don't feel it.
Right.
But that shit, it actually does make a difference. Workout after workout after workout. It's additive, right? But you don't. That's why people forget, because it's not like caffeine where you can feel it right after. It's not like kratom where you can feel it right after. And it's an interesting thing, because it's like, I don't know if he's natural or not, but bodybuilders still. There are a lot of bodybuilders who are huge, who they're obviously on steroids. They're backed by certain supplement companies. BSN backs a bunch. There's a lot, but they don't talk about their steroid use, even though that's something that a lot of people look to now. They're like, you see Greg Doucette, you see even Chris Bumstem has talked about like what he's doing these days. It's expected that people will be open about what they take, right, along with whatever else they market. And people look at that as being more honest, or that's a better thing to do. And honestly, at this point, like, it is, because it's if you are, it doesn't hurt you to be honest about it these days, right? And if Liver King, like, it's an interesting thing. If he is on stuff, right, he's made his money since 2012 already. He's made his money. It's not like he's hurting for money now. But who knows?
Maybe he wants you to believe in the message more, and maybe that's potentially, if he is lying, maybe that would be the incentive, right?
This guy's also not out here saying, like, the old marketing of supplements, like back in the 2000s, 2010, is like, oh, you take this, you'll get big like me, right? Like, people actually were told, like, oh, if you do this, if you take this protein, if you take this shit, you're going to look like me, right? This dude isn't saying any of that shit. He's never said, if you take my ancestral supplements, you can be big and strong like Liver King. The things that he's really talked about are his fucking tenets. And these are actions that you need to take that are free. And whether you dislike him because you think he's on drugs or whatever, the stuff that he talks about, if you do them, doesn't necessarily put money in his pocket. Right? It's just things that you should.
I've never actually seen him in an ad for his own supplement brand. Now he could be. I could just not have ever seen them, but like, I hashtag carnivore and all that shit. So like, you figure that would like be in my feed somewhere. I've never seen that before. And also, I think maybe in his story a couple times I've seen him talking about the ancestral supplements. But in all the posts, I see a lot of people, a lot of influencers in every post that they post. You guys know who these people are. They're famous YouTubers. In every post, there's a sale every time.
Yep.
I don't have any problem with that, right? I don't care. I want people to make their money. I want the fitness industry to grow. You do what you got to do. You figure it out your own way. But I've never seen Liver King ever do that before. I don't think he even does. So it's interesting because people are like, I think he's trying to like swindle us, and he's trying to do this, trying to do that. And maybe in the most simplest form, maybe there's a lie being sold to you, and the fact that he says he doesn't take them, and maybe he does take steroids. and maybe that pisses you off. But I find it interesting, the jealousy that I see out there is coming from a lot of different people. Like Joe Rogan's tone on there, shutting it down and just saying like, that guy doesn't do any of that. He's got an ass full of steroids. That's a really interesting comment, I think, especially from someone as high up as Joe Rogan.
Joe's also interesting too, because like you look at I've heard him say or think certain fighters were like on certain things. I've heard him say certain people that he thinks were on steroids. I'm like that person's not even that big. You know what I mean? I think, and that's what a lot of people think about things. Like they by default think certain professional fighters are on certain drugs because they're professional, or certain professional athletes are. But you know, I don't think that's that big of a. I don't know. I don't think that's that big of a deal. I think he'd say a lot of people are on steroids for looking a certain way. And I partially, you know, for Joe's fucking dope. But at the end of the day, like, I think some people, they will, you know, they'll judge their specific amount of progress and all that they've been able to do and what they've seen, because he's seen a ton of athletes.
Could you imagine how Joe Rogan could look if he focused in on gaining muscle even without TRT?
Oh, yeah.
He would look like a tank. Like he would look incredible.
And he was also jacked when he was younger, too.
Right.
Oh,
before
absolutely.
doing any type of
Yes,
TRT shit.
very lean.
Big ass fucking pecs, and he was lean and he was jacked.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's an interesting one. But the thing about Liver King is like he you know, despite whatever, you know, he has a look, right? He has those thick old abs. He's red, maybe because he's out in the sun all the time.
Gamma rays.
He is veiny as shit, right? And
So
that's going to make certain people think he's on or he's not. But at the end of the day, I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah, you hear like Rogan will say somebody's like, "Oh, he's juiced to the gills." Like I've heard that so many times.
Yeah.
But one thing that I found interesting, and you could look at it both ways, being positive or negative, but I don't know. I thought it was cool that before he ever got on social media, he already had ancestral supplements going.
Right.
You know, and then because normally you see the opposite, right? Like an influencer gets popular. Oh, check out my supplement line.
Yeah.
This is how I got here. It's like, well, that wasn't there when you were actually getting here. And for him, it seems like it was there. Now
our buddy Paul Saladino built up a big following, then he had a product to sell. I did the same thing. I built up a big following, then I had products to sell.
And that's what I mean. Like you normally, you see it that way, and he kind of went the other direction. Again, you could easily be like, oh, well, no, he created a bullshit supplement company and then started saying like, oh, this is how I got jacked. Yeah. You could easily say that, I know, but I just think it's cool that because it's not like you can just like, I got a company, you know, you can't just do it overnight.
You feeling those shrooms yet, by the way?
I am.
how's it feel? All right, we got to talk about this real quick. This is Andrew's first time on 500 milligrams of psilocybin. How do you feel, baby?
No, well, because I was looking down, I was writing notes, and same thing, like my vision's getting fucked. So
Really?
like, yeah.
Okay. Take the glasses off. I bet you can
I'll
see
probably see
great.
clear. No, I feel like I'm underwater.
Like you're
No,
underwater?
not like I can't breathe, but like I'm just like, ooh, like going with the waves.
Do you have any back of your jaw? Do you find yourself going like that a bit? I'm on
No.
the grams.
Oh no, we're gonna start laughing.
I'm on a gram right now. So what happens? What I feel is like the back of my jaw just starts going like. It's like you get drug face. You're like,
That's so.
That's me, myself, and Irene face when he's all fucking cotton mouth.
Oh yeah. His tongue's all white.
and Mark, you're the sober one now.
Oh, that's
you're like,
weird.
what the fuck
Yeah,
am I doing
ish.
with
I mean,
these
I got
fucks?
some caveman nitro coffee.
Take
and some
a mind bullet. There you
Yeah,
go.
I got a little bit of drugs over here.
Something. I don't know what we were talking about.
We were just talking about the Liver King.
Oh, his company. Like again, like I said, I think it's pretty interesting that he was already doing this before we knew who he was.
Right.
And then we're looking at this picture, which I'm going to pull up here. That's with our boy Brad Kearns. And I remember taking this supplement before I knew whoever the fuck this guy was.
Yeah, I did the same for quite some time.
Mm-hmm. But what's funny is like not everybody, but I've seen this picture come up a lot when they're saying like, oh, look at him before. Like obviously he's way smaller. But when we were looking at it, we're like, well, you can't really tell.
Yeah, the immediate thing with me is like he's wearing a shirt and everything is cut off because of Brad and his wife. So like with his beard being smaller, you think he looks smaller. Like, you know, if I shaved my beard, I look like a baby face. If Smokey shaves his beard, he looks like a baby face.
Yeah.
But beards add a lot. So like you can't tell what his body looks like underneath a black shirt. So who knows?
And he's kind of hidden there.
Yeah.
The motherfucker owns a plane. I mean, you know what I mean?
Oh,
Like,
seriously?
yeah, it's, you know,
That's ridiculous.
just owns so much shit. You know, we were on those razors at his house.
How did you break one?
I don't know.
You know.
Wait, what are the razors? Are those the things you guys are driving through water with?
Yeah, the 4-wheeler type things.
Okay.
They're like golf carts on steroids.
Yeah. Yeah, most of the stuff he has is something on steroids. Like most of the possessions that he has, everything's kind of like that. And when we ate, it was like the ultimate feast. There was like pork, and there was steak, and there was cheeseburger, and there was like French fries. And that's an interesting thing about his diet is that there's room for like alcohol. There's room there's room for some stuff that's like kind of on the side that you wouldn't think.
So he ate fries.
Yeah, he ate fries. Yeah, but he's like, you know, it's potatoes. It's fried in tallow. He's got a chef, you know, being all hippy dippy about it, but it's fucking French fries, and they were delicious. But anyway, with these 4-wheeler things, these razors, I don't know what I'm doing on those things. I've rode those, I've driven those before, but not through like a big like mud bog type thing. And he's got like one that's lifted, and he just goes, you know, plowing through. And I go through, and I just fucking bomb out. I probably didn't go as like aggressive as I should have, because I didn't really know exactly what to do.
He let off
pull
at the
the
very
video?
end. I don't see a video. Is it on here?
It's on the Super Training 06 channel.
Yeah, and it's
My bad.
yeah, it's also, I think it's on my Instagram.
Where? Oh, I see it now.
Yeah, where I got the goggles.
Yeah.
Oh, snap.
Dude, we had so much fun. We were shooting guns and all
Very
kinds of shit.
American. This is very 4th of July.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So this is what you didn't make it through. This is...
Yep. There I am.
Oh, you made it through this time, or...
Oh.
So close.
Wow.
So I needed to start a lot faster, and I was trying to pick up speed as I was in there, but apparently that doesn't work.
Yeah, then you're spinning your wheels.
So we had to get like a winch and tie it around a tree, and then it lifted us out of there, and then he drove it out. And then I was able to redeem myself later on. And his wife explained it to me. His wife said, when you first got here, you ate a testicle. So luckily you were one testicle up. She's like, but then she's like, you got bogged down in the mud and couldn't get out. She's like, so you lost a testicle.
Take a testicle card.
Yeah. And then she said, because I made it through the last one, I was back up to 3. So
Nice.
yeah.
There we go.
We
how
literally
were the
got
testicles?
shit all over
I was
us.
gonna say, yeah.
Yeah, how were the testicles, by the way?
They were snappy. They were
Snappy.
Yeah.
What do you mean snappy?
They were like, they had a little like to them.
Like not crunchy?
Y'all cook those shits, right?
No, it was raw.
You ate raw testicles.
Yeah, raw
in
nut
your
sack.
mouth.
Shit, y'all white people do.
Yeah.
Like, this is real white boy fun.
You'd eat some testicles too.
Go over to Liver Kings, eat some testicles, shoot some guns, and drive.
I think he got it from your people.
Fuck my collarbone. Y'all don't know I hurt myself recently, so laughing hurts. But oh god, yeah, I think you may have gotten it from.
Hey,
Went down to that tribe with Africa and started eating balls and shit, huh?
when you got hurt, did you at least tap the guy out?
Yeah, actually, I did tap him out.
Hell
I did
yeah.
tap him.
Good.
Wait, did I tap John out?
Oh,
Oh,
there's
wait.
question.
No, I did tap him out.
don't
I
know.
tapped him out that roll. But yeah. It's an impact injury. So what happened was like I was rolling.
You very rarely get hurt.
Yeah,
from jujitsu. You do a lot of it, and you're at a high level, so that's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah. This shit was just I hit the ground. This came in. I heard like a, you know, but like feeling around, I have a bruised collarbone right now. Certain things don't feel too good, but I know it's gonna feel fine in a week.
You still fuck up me and Andrew, even high on mushrooms and with a busted collarbone.
Yeah, it's not busted. It's just bruised.
Oh, okay.
It's just bruised.
But
Just
still.
a little owie.
just a little owie.
Yeah.
Shit happens.
Still, you could tie Andrew and I up in a pretzel and leave us in the corner, and we wouldn't be able to get out.
I think I could actually.
That's
roll you
actually
guys
not
out.
very nice, but you could do that.
Then you would leave like a cell phone like 10 feet away and then just walk out.
Yeah, go
Just
ahead
like,
and try to crawl over to this. And
like they'll figure it
that's
out.
how you can get help.
Oh man,
come here on
you know
Tuesday.
what? Real quick question: have you guys seen the Saw series?
Yes.
Yeah, have you seen all of them?
No.
I think I might have seen all of them.
It starts to get a little too scary.
Yeah, you think you've seen all of them?
I
Andrew?
think so, but really quick, the scene where he throws the addict into the
Stop it! That was
that
the
one
worst.
fucks me up so bad,
that
more
one
than
talking
any
about?
of them.
Yeah, that's terrifying.
And then when she gets out and like the needles are all like inside her, like that one is really bad. Where did Nsima go? There he is.
Oh,
Who thinks of that shit?
yeah, man. The shit that was the worst out of all the Saw movies.
Ugh.
The vat of fucking needles.
Chills.
Imagine if the writer's like just totally normal person
What's
with
his
no
name?
drugs.
Yeah, right.
Imagine that.
he might do it without drugs, but he ain't normal.
Yeah, there's no way.
The one of the producers is this Asian James Wan. He's one of the producers. I didn't realize that. He's produced so many good horror movies. But I just me and my girl, like, first off, I saw the first Saw, but I never saw the rest because I'm really bad with gore. But we went through all the Saw movies in the past like week. Like we watched all the way to 7. And Jesus Christ, it is really well done.
7 of them?
Yeah,
Oh my God.
they're really good. I used to think like, oh, it's like one of those movie series like Fast and Furious, like the story's done. But it is actually really good. So highly suggested.
Don't say anything bad about Fast and the Furious, though. I love those movies.
You like cars. You like anything with fast cars, Andrew.
That is true, but I also just like the fact that they're like so far over the top. It's basically like
It's about family.
it's like an action Naked Gun series now.
About family.
Like that shit's really good.
It's all about family.
I saw a trailer for Black Adam.
How's he looking?
It didn't look very good.
It didn't.
But I don't know. Maybe it's fun.
didn't put fire in your loins seeing Dwayne all jacked.
He does look jacked.
Okay, that's all I care about.
Hopefully it's like, I don't know. It seemed like it was trying to go more funny than anything, but
Yeah,
I guess he's in that realm, right? Because he got a lot of little kids that are huge fans, right?
yeah, but DC usually goes dark though. Not usually, but they have gone dark. I should say with like the.
It was just a trailer, so I don't know. But I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, DC just can't get it right.
I don't know. I always think he's going to give somebody a rock bottom. I can't get that out of my head.
Yeah, man. No. You know, the funny thing is, like, with all these, Dwayne's super jacked and Liver King's super jacked. One of the comments that I think is just so funny is like, kids will look at these physiques and think that they're possible. That's just I don't know, that's the funniest comment to me. Because it's like, it's possible for some kids.
Yeah.
It's not possible for every kid.
Right.
Not only that,
Becoming
but,
president's possible for one kid.
yeah, but it's not new. Like, we've been looking up to Rocky, we've been looking up to Goku,
Yeah.
Ryu, a
Yeah.
lot of these people, and it's like,
Well, and we didn't know.
yeah,
We didn't know years ago. It's hard to tell if it's like more harmful or not. I mean, to go back to your question about, asking, selling and supplements, and then you get into weird moral ground, like I don't know what the right answer to that is.
The fucked up thing that's the thing. Supplements, all of this kind of BS has started when people were like saying protein shakes are going to lie to this mass gainer is going to put on so much muscle. Motherfucker, we know it's not going to happen.
unless it's
right?
within you supplements.
Unless it's within
you
you supplements.
this is the way that shit is.
Nah,
the
but
only
like
way.
these supplements do certain things. They're not going to get you huge. What
Right.
gets you huge is the work you put into the gym, and how huge you get is based off of mommy and daddy. Partially mommy and daddy, and then like work you put in. So it's like no one's selling anyone on that type of shit anymore.
Yeah,
'Cause
your
it's not
genetics and what you do with the genetics, right? And your environment.
true. Go ahead.
I was going to say most of the people that we know that have accumulated, kind of large amounts of body fat from the time they're young still have a hard time shaking it.
Yeah.
So what you do from the time you're born, basically, is another big predictor. So you can change your genetics. It's called epigenetics by, getting in a lot of exercise and having a good, healthy environment. But some kids grow up, playing video games and overeating and doing that every day rather than being outside and doing things that could be more productive.
Being inactive in your youth is like very like it's hard to work that off as you get older. Like, I know kids who were athletes or did some type of sport when they were younger. They were active, they ran around, they did things. They weren't just sitting around all the time. They become adults, they move better. They're able to just be physically more dominant. And then I know kids who weren't. And it doesn't mean you can't when you're older. It's just it is going to be harder for you if you didn't grow up doing certain things. So that's just one thing where it's like this guy's Liver King is not trying, like, when I listen to that podcast, I'm like, okay, he's trying to tell parents to have their kids be active, have their kids eating meat, have their kids getting out and do things. Don't have your kids sit around playing video games, watching TV all the time,
Just
being
get some
sedentary
sun.
as fuck, getting like these are things that just people should do. These aren't damaging. This isn't gonna damage people's life or their outlook on fitness. These are good things for people to do, whether you think the guy's on drugs or not. It's not bad for people to do. I know you're enjoying this clip, but listen up. We have this beef company, Piedmontese Beef, that no matter what diet you're doing, whether it's low fat, high fat, carnivore, keto, whatever, they have perfect cuts that are going to fit your diet perfectly. And the cool thing, Andrew, less connective tissue, so you're not going to have those gristly, nasty things that you have to spit out when you eat beef.
That's what those are?
That's what those are.
Oh, and Piedmontese doesn't have that.
They don't have that because the cows are jacked, lack of connective tissue, buttery when you cut into it. Amazing taste. So, Andrew, how can they get some Piedmontese?
Yes, sir. It's over at Piedmontese.com. That's PIEDMONTESE.com. At checkout, enter promo code POWER for 25% off your order. And if your order is $150 or more, you get free 2-day shipping. Again, that's at Piedmontese.com, promo code POWER. Let's go ahead and get back to this podcast.
Right.
You know?
And even if he does them, like, who else do you know that looks like that? He's in tremendous shape. You got to kind of just tip your hat to that. He's 5'7", he's 190 pounds. I think I've seen a lot of CrossFitters over the years look similar. Maybe try to bring up that picture of Froning and Khalipa and some of these guys. Again, I'm not trying to make excuses for this guy, and I'm not trying to say that he's natural. I'm just saying a 5'7", 190-pound body, that's probably what percentage body fat you going to get?
I'd say he's like 6 or 7. At least looking at the upper body.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He doesn't, not overly muscular in the lower body, but yeah, 6-7%.
Actually, it could be high because, you know, depending on like how the lower body is, it could be like 8. You know, if the lower body isn't as lean, because for some people, when they lose body fat, they'll lose a lot on the upper body. Matt Ogus is actually like this, where he'll have perpetual abs, but his legs, he won't lose fat there for a while. He just has really good genetics for that area.
Yeah.
That's a thing.
Right. Yeah, and after seeing him up close, you know, I would say he's like 7 or 8%. Probably somewhere in that range. And yeah, look, I mean, these guys, you know, Froning, he never, like back then, according to some of the, you know, watching some of the CrossFit Games documentaries, he would eat a couple sleeves of Oreos every night. You know, I don't know what the rest of his diet looked like. I don't know if he had some more discipline there. Jason's never had like real discipline with his diet until the last maybe 3-4 years. And not that Jason ever like, didn't eat well, but he just, I mean, look how fucking jacked the guy is.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that picture by the pool, they look fucking insane. It's like, what the fuck?
But yeah, one thing again people don't think about is like I think when Froning was on the podcast, he talked about he was doing stuff since he was a kid. Khalipa, I'm just gonna assume he did stuff since he was a kid, as in like activity, sports. Those things make a difference in terms of how you age and how you move.
Absolutely.
And if you're someone who just decides to pick up the gym at 16, 17, or 18, I'm not saying that you can't, because I've seen people like get great results and move well like that. But you can't expect that your trajectory as far as like that short period of time is going to be the same as some 26-year-old that's been lifting since he was 10. You can get there. It's just going to take you a longer amount of time.
Yeah, I don't want to pick on the person too much, but you know, there was the comment, it's like, well, I'm 5'7", I'm 155, and I've been lifting for 10 years. I don't look like that. It's like, well, you're two different people. But I just, you know, we had the whole podcast about this where it's like, okay, so just because somebody looks better than this thing, then they're definitely on gear. Yeah. It's just it's again, you don't want to just like believe everybody for everything they say, but at the same time, it's like, dude,
the kind of shit would make you believe that everybody's on stuff. You know what I mean? Because like, and I've been saying this for years, like, you know, Tom Brady's an anomaly because of how late he's still, you know, he's in his 40s, in his mid 40s, still playing professional football, still getting to the championship games. And he's ridiculous. But like every time someone does something spectacular, we're going to always just say that there's drugs there. Like, I know that they are prevalent in sports and I know that they're big, but Usain Bolt has been accused many times of all kinds of different cheating, having special types of shoes, and taking designer drugs that no one knows about yet, and just the list goes on and on. See if you can bring up Dan Bailey. He's a CrossFitter too, who's real jacked, that gets accused of it a lot, and he's like, the thing about Liver King, seeing him up close, and the thing that is probably is on the front of a lot of people's mind is just how hard his body looks. And people think that his abs, are fake and they look like implants. They very well could be. I don't have any idea. Like, I don't have any way of knowing. I did touch him and feel him and felt like muscles, but
did you?
I did.
Okay.
Can I get a hey now?
Hey now.
And people were commenting quite a bit about me feeling his abs. They were like, saying how he was like a homophobe or something like that because I was, I just like randomly brought it up while my brother was filming. He didn't even know we were going to ask him that question.
Which question?
And
about his abs?
Yeah, about touching his stomach. But like, I think that's a pretty normal reaction. Like, dude, I don't want you to touch me. Like I don't know. I wouldn't react that way necessarily.
Of course you wouldn't.
I don't, because I'm gay.
Yeah.
So I don't care. I'm open that way, But some guys are like that. Some guys don't like to be. They're like, dude, don't touch me. Yeah,
that's a perfectly fair thing to not want to be touched by another person.
Yeah, I have a lot of male friends that are like, no, dude, like seriously. And I'm like, oh, okay, fuck.
You know what's funny? So wait. In this instance, people said that he was a homophobe for not wanting you to touch his abs.
Yes.
But those same people, I think, in certain instances, would be like, "Ew, he wants people to touch him. He's gay." Like,
yeah,
it's
right.
like you can't.
Yeah, absolutely.
With certain people, you're just
if
one
like,
way or the other.
okay.
You're fucked. You are so fucked. Oh my god.
Yeah, look how jacked these guys are.
These guys
But
are-
then people are gonna be like, well, they're on too.
We were talking about this on a walk. I'm not comparing him, Liver King, to some like high level athlete or whatever. But I think we should just just be open to what certain levels of athletics can do. Sherry-Ann Fraser-Price is a 35-year-old Olympic sprinter who's had 2 children. And she just, I think, recently had the fastest 100-meter time of 2022. Mother of 2 children, 35 fucking years old. Especially with sprinting, people are like, oh, that's a sport where you as you get older, you can't do it. This woman's 35 and still bussing youngins that are like 19, 20, and
That's
21 in
sick.
their prime.
What's her name?
Sherry-Ann Fraser-Price. She's
That's a lot of names.
just type in Fraser-Price on YouTube or whatever, she'll pop up. But this is the thing, I think a lot of people can do some wild things. And athletics, it's how you take care of yourself and how long you do it, and like how long you can do it without getting yourself fucked up. So it's, who knows? I don't know with whatever Liver King. I don't know if he is or he's not. I'm gonna lean towards he is. Why? Because like with some of the things he talks about, it's lifestyle stuff. Yeah, he's making money off ancestral supplements, but when it comes to any of these folks, I'm like, I pay attention to what they're talking about. Mm-hmm. Are they saying that the way they looks is because of the supplements that they take and their fucking mass gainer or their special formulated fucking pre-workout that gets them super hyped for the gym? Or are they talking about things that you can do in your daily life, the habits? Because we know that it's the habits. It's the things that you do day by day that it's going to allow you to be able to gain that amount of muscle over a period of time. It's not going to be the supplement you take. Supplements can make a bit of a difference here and there, but they're not going to be the end all be all. It's what you do on a day-to-day basis. And with what I hear him talking about, he's talking about habit change, which is what we talk about all the time. Daily habit change for people.
Right. So you don't believe that he takes anything?
I think he could, but at the end of the day, like this
just doesn't make any difference in your life, right?
It doesn't make any difference for me because, first off, I'm 250 pounds at 6'2". So many people already think that I'm on drugs, and I know what I've been able to do over the period of time. Where I'm like, I know other people who, like my boy Sam Okinola, Russ Swole, all these people. I know people who've also done some wild things where I'm just like, you know what? I mean, I've been able to do this. How am I going to tell some other guy that, oh, he's definitely on? I cannot do that.
Right.
Because I know it was possible for me. So I know that there has to be other people on this globe that can do some shit like that. So I don't think it's out of the possibility. People also think I'm retarded for thinking Mike O'Hearn isn't on. But
all
Mike,
you can do is like
you know
kind
what I
of
mean?
take his word. I don't know.
That's all you can do. But the thing is like when I hear some of these people, I pay attention to what they say. I'm like, are they trying to say that supplements got them here? You know what I mean? Because that's the sleazy shit that people get mad at, and people rightly should get mad at that. Like, if someone's out here and they're big and they're jacked and they're like, this got me this big. Like, no, you're bullshitting. You're bullshitting. Like, talk about the stuff that you do, the way you work out, the habits you have on a day-to-day basis. That's going to be the thing. And he's not saying that. Like, there's this back-end sale that he's going to have for ancestral supplements because not everyone's going to choose to eat liver, heart, organs. So they're going to buy the supplements. Okay, I can understand that. But the base of the message is change your habits. Change what you do. Get some sunlight. Get out and get in some cold. Work out each day. Stop eating processed foods. These are things that you can do without paying for supplements.
Or just take a little trend.
Everyone wants to link it back.
I know
to
people
trend
are
race.
watching right now and they're like, come on, guys.
Yeah.
Give me a break.
He's on tons of gear.
No. He's like, for me, that shit doesn't help me out. Like, I don't go on the internet.
I'd rather believe that people are natural. Like when they say it, I'd rather just be like, okay, you know, like bring up, see if you can bring up C.T. Fletcher from a couple days ago. He posted a picture of when he was a young man, and he just looked fucking spectacular.
But that's the thing. I'd rather believe they're natural, but then I pay attention to what they say. And if they're spouting a bunch of bullshit, I'm like, okay, I don't really care. But if they're spouting things that, okay, this can actually make a difference for people, you've got something, you know?
Yeah, look how jacked he is there. And then watch, there's a couple other, there's a really insane one.
Jesus.
That one.
Holy shit.
Dude, what a good looking guy, man. He looks incredible.
He was slain.
What the hell?
CT was slain.
Yeah.
He was out in these streets, bro.
Nah. CT's a good guy, man.
He could be a good guy and still slay. He could be a good guy and still slay.
Nah.
Ain't nothing wrong with
No, not my boy, CT.
You're just giving people a good time.
Yeah.
Think of all the happy customers.
He is so much fucking fun.
Yeah.
He is so funny. He's taking me through his gym and he's showing me like all this old stuff.
Yeah.
He's like, I like old everything. He's like, you saw the cars outside. He's like, I like old cars. He's like, I like old dumbbells. Mark Bale. He's like, on me. He's like, I like old everything. He's like, look at this old ass machine. He's like, the only thing I don't like that's old is pussy. He's like, ain't nobody like old pussy. I'm like, oh, he was, and you know, he cracks him. He does his own laugh.
Yeah.
He cracks himself up. God, that guy is amazing.
Oh my God.
Oh my gosh. What about, I mean, hopefully I didn't steal this question from anybody, but Mark, you posed this question in our text thread. If Liver King was of a different ethnicity.
Look, if he was black, no one would say nothing.
Okay.
Or actually they would, but it wouldn't be as bad.
They might be talking about something else. Yeah.
What you were saying was, it was kind of odd because people look at big black dudes and they're like, mate. BBC genetics. Yeah. That's what they always throw out, right? But you know, he's not. So like, there's a little bit more doubt there because he's white. Like, come on now.
It's hilarious. You were saying that like you don't see as many of the Natty or Not videos made on black people, right?
You don't. Like you really don't. Like you've seen some, like, you know, you've seen Russ Swole. There's this guy Uzoma Obilor, right? He's black. He's Nigerian actually. I think Greg and some other people said he wasn't natural or whatever, but you don't see as many Natty or Nots being made on black dudes. You really don't. Because I think in some of these dudes in the back of their mind, they're like, maybe, you know, maybe those genetics, right? So, but that's the thing, is like, I don't think some white dudes can't get just as big. I've seen some big white boys, you know, and that's why in the last podcast I made sure to like pull up some big natural white guys.
Yeah, who's the real big guy that everybody always claims is on shit?
Doug Miller.
Doug Miller, there you go.
Yeah. Doug Miller looks wild, bro. Doug Miller looks real, especially when he was on stage.
But he has competed in a drug-tested federation for a long time.
Yep, he has. He's been drug tested, but again, tested doesn't mean drug free.
And he's the guy that they love to promote, so they let him take some shit.
Yeah.
I know Jay Cutler's not like competing, but like
Doug's arm,
makes
that
Jay
is
Cutler
not
look-
edited.
he makes Jay Cutler look so tiny.
Doug is a fucking
that
joke.
shit.
And no, when I say Doug's a joke, I mean just in the best way possible, because like I do believe Doug. I do believe that there are some just freaks out there that, you know, people just we can't catch up to that.
Dude, I got a really good lesson in genetics when I was a professional wrestler. When I got around some of those mutants, and I got to hang out with Mark Henry, who's an Olympic level weightlifter and a strongman. Like Mark Henry is one of the strongest humans ever walked the face of the earth.
Yeah.
Oh man, look at those arms.
Look at his
fuck, dude?
biceps. They're fucking grapefruits, man. Oh.
And you know, just seeing all these different mutant athletes. I mean, Mark Henry deadlifted 900 pounds, and he wasn't he didn't have a huge focus on powerlifting. He was more of a weightlifter when he was young.
Yeah.
It's insane. The guy was fucking dunking a basketball, but there was just a ton of athletes. Our coach would say, "Hey, like, do this drill." Like, and he'd say, "Andrew and Nsima, you guys do this drill. You know, Mark and so, you do this drill." And you watch like 3 or 4 different people go, you know this from jiu-jitsu. It just looks different.
Yes.
Every once in a while, you're like, it's not even necessarily about being a black belt. It's not necessarily about how long you've been doing something for. Sometimes somebody comes into class and you're like,
You just tell the way they move.
how the fuck did they know how to do that already? And they're like, oh yeah, I did gymnastics, you know, from the time I was 7 or whatever. And you're like, well, fuck, man, it shows. You get to see it right away. But even beyond that, even beyond having a previous experience in some other type of sport, there's some people that they can just pick stuff up sometimes. We know that happens with playing a piano. We know that happens with art. You ask, 1,000 people to draw a picture, and if they're random people and they're not trained artists, there'll only probably be a handful of people that made something that looks good. And like, where does that come from? A lot of it has to do with genetics. And then imagine if you have a little bit of genetic potential for that thing and you discover it when you're young. Liver King saying that he started training basically around 9 years old. He said his mom and his family moved. His dad died when he was young. His mom moved to a neighborhood and they were right next to a gym, like walking distance to a gym. Mm-hmm. And he just said that he gravitated towards that because he didn't have like a male role model in his house. And that's what he went with.
You know what's funny? There's this guitarist. He plays for this band Polyphia. Let me see. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because I see the same thing when it comes to like anybody that's doing something like really wild. It's like Polyphia lead guitar.
Obviously, he does Adderall.
Obviously, do shrooms make
Tim Henson?
Do shrooms make things taste better?
Do you notice something tastes better?
Thing? I don't know. I'm drinking this. What is it? Ultra Rosa.
Yeah.
Rosé. Sorry, I don't know what the fuck. Monster. It was good before.
Yeah.
Right now, it's really good.
It does change. It does change stuff. For me, like when I would go to eat, I couldn't taste stuff as much. So it might, for each person, might do something a little different.
Have sex on shrooms. That's just fun.
Yeah. All right, guys, I gotta go.
But I was gonna say his name's Tim Henson. All right, Polyphia.
Henson.
Yeah, Polyphia is like they're these 3 guitarists who just make ridiculous music. But they made this recent song called "Playing God," and when I was going through his YouTube channel, he actually played it so people could see what his hands were doing, and the comments were like, okay, seeing this just makes me want to quit guitar. I've been playing for 15 years and I'm not even close to this good. Just the amount of guitar players that were really good who were like, I feel like quitting. This is stupid. I feel like quitting. Like, first off, this song is fucking amazing.
Is this him?
Yeah, that's him. But like guitarists didn't know that this was actually possible on guitar.
Wow.
Just let it play for like 20 more seconds, because what you'll see his hands do in a second is just disgusting.
Jesus. Wowzer.
Ooh. So like, yeah, pause it.
Wow, he's so loose with his hands.
Yeah. This guy's
Wow.
29 or whatever. But that's the
My
thing.
hand is cramped up.
I know, like if you watch, like just like after the podcast, just watch that shit.
Yeah.
It's beautiful because both of his hands are doing some wild shit, and the amount of guitarists that number one reacted to this, and we're just like, this is unbelievable. I've never seen guitar played this way. Like he's literally playing guitar in ways that you haven't been able to see before. But it makes people that are experienced want to quit. This is the thing. Some people can just do certain things way better.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And it applies to everything. It also applies to physicality.
Yeah, the first time someone shoots a basketball, someone's going to be better than you at it probably. I mean, it's just sometimes the way shit goes sometimes.
Yeah.
People have bigger dicks, right? I mean, not than mine, but I'm saying from what I've heard
They
from
exist,
friends.
maybe.
Yeah.
And, you know, even I've brought up Lionel Messi, but people love to say that like he was given GH when he was younger.
He was.
He was. I don't know, for some growth thing, but like when you see that man move on a soccer field, like when you see him play, when you watch Messi highlights, he's doing things that other players just don't do. They can't do. He's smaller than other guys,
And
too.
people know what he's doing.
And people know what he's doing, but it's like it's just
Can't
it is
stop it.
It can't stop it. It's another level. Like obviously he practiced his ass off from since the time he was a kid, but they're also just intangibles that others, even the professionals, just don't have. And everybody can come together and say this is the greatest soccer player of all time, right? So just there are things that people have that other people don't. That's just how it is.
You guys riding that high from the mushrooms reminds me to remind you guys, if you haven't seen 9 Perfect Strangers, you should watch it.
Ooh.
And Nsima, you'll really like it a
You
lot.
told me about it.
Yeah.
I still haven't watched it. I'll put in my notes.
It's good. It gets weird. It's fun. It's fun.
9 Perfect Strangers.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Hold on. This is an amazing play. I'm just watching Messi be inside ankle bone.
When I was,
Hi.
dude, when
But look at that shit though. It's definitely the mushrooms, but look at the fucking amazing precision and just the obviously like the nonverbal communication right here though.
the Barcelona team with Iniesta,
Wabam.
Messi and Xavi
Wabam.
is what it's like.
Go fuck off, dude. That's so sick.
You guys know the Golden State Warriors when they had like Curry and the way they played basketball in terms of the passing and stuff. That was the way that Barcelona team played.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful to watch. But when you watch him move, even if you're not a soccer fan, like you're just like it brings the hairs to like it just like makes your skin crawl. How wild it is! It's beautiful. I still watch that shit to get myself pumped up to do shit.
He's a savage, man.
His heel
Guy's
goes away
unbelievable.
from the body.
Huh?
His heel points away from the body.
Like the baby, the baby crawl.
Mhm.
Got to get that down. We got Gary Scheffler coming in and going to set us straight.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah, I told him I had to have Jake here to coach me up on some things before my coach shows up.
Get you ready.
Mm-hmm.
Get you ready.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think we exhausted this Liver King stuff. He's obviously on tons of juice.
Absolutely.
I saw the Trent house that he had. Interesting. He had so many people in that factory, just mixing the Tren in there. And there's people like pouring the powder in and stuff, and people laughing like a maniacal, evil Tren laugh, And then the factory workers, they have the Tren cough going and everything. 'Cause there's so much Tren everywhere. But other than that, I didn't see anything suspicious. So
Fair.
yeah, I think it's all good. Andrew, take us on out of here, buddy.
All righty. Thank you, everybody, for checking out today's episode. Sincerely appreciate it. Drop your opinions down below in the comment section. Would love to hear what you guys have to say. I have an idea what they're going to sound like, though.
Don't be so mad. That's all.
But yeah, don't be angry.
Don't be so mad.
And then please subscribe if you guys are not subscribed, and make sure you guys slap that like button on your way out. Please follow the podcast at MB Power Project on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. My Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter is at I am Andrew. Yeah, at least like this episode for me being higher than a fucking kite right now.
Are you
Nsima,
really?
Yeah, where you at?
500 milligrams.
You getting ripe over there?
Dude.
Yeah. Shit, man, I am not smelling good. So I had that charcoal
Going around on mushrooms, smelling all natty.
Dude, so like I've definitely been like leaning into the hippie side of things, but so like I made myself some tea the other night, and then they didn't have the charcoal scent one. They had like it was like some kind of tea and like
ginseng and
some like sage type shit, and I'm like I bought it. I'm like, this smells really good, and then it hit me later. I'm like, it's happening. It's already happened.
Yeah,
Full on hippie.
Well, anyway,
And I'm doing mushrooms.
you are. They feel good. Good. I'm happy for you.
Great.
Go to the Discord. Great community in there. Make me laugh right now, man. Don't fucking make me laugh right now, man. And Nsima
Made
Inyang on
yourself
Instagram,
laugh.
YouTube, and Nsima
Don't put this on me. That's all you.
on TikTok and Twitter. Mark, where can people find you, man?
I'm at Mark Smiley Bell. Strength is never weakness. Weakness is never strength. Catch you guys later. Bye.